Hey, what's going on YouTube? In this video, we're going to be replacing the valve cover on this 2015 Trax due to a check engine light P0171 bank 1 lean. Let's get to it. So this Chevy Trax has the 1.4 liter EcoTech turbocharged engine. This is actually quite common on these cars. The valve cover has an integrated valve diaphragm and they start to leak. That's going to show you, I'm actually going to show you that's what is happening on this vehicle. It's happened a couple times on my sister-in-law's Cruze. I own a Cruze as well. I'm just waiting for it to happen on mine. I haven't had it yet. I think the people before me have changed the valve cover before I owned it, which is great. But yeah, so this all of a sudden had a check engine light on. Check engine light came out with this code, P0171, and that's for the bank lean or bank 1 lean. And essentially it's just getting unregulated air coming into the system that's not going through the throttle body. So I'll show you more what I mean. So I already showed you the code that it's throwing, but let's go ahead and tell how you can diagnose this on top of the engine here. So just go ahead and remove this top cover here. Just held on with a couple clamps. And then this guy right here is actually what you're going to be wanting to look at. So there's a little hole right here on top of this diaphragm that starts to leak. So what we're going to do is start the vehicle up and see if we can hear it. Now the engine dialed down a little bit. So if you put your thumb over top of this right here, you might be able to hear the difference in air coming through. That's essentially what's happening, is that air is coming through this little hole and it's unregulated. So now that we have diagnosed that the valve cover is actually what's bad, we can start tearing it all apart. First thing we want to do is start taking out the coil pack. So it's going to be this harness right here and then these two torque bolts. Okay, first pull that pink clip backwards. Then you push down right here and have your screwdriver wiggle it off. Okay, with that off, you can then take your torque 30. This is a torque 30. Watch those both loose. And then going to pull straight up on the coil pack assembly. Now that we have the coil packs out, we can go and start taking a look at all the hoses that route all the way around it. We're going to be all clipped in, so hopefully we can just kind of move them off to the side. Now when you think you got all the hoses disconnected here, looks like I do, all the way around, we can go ahead and start taking out all the bolts. Now I think these are technically E10s, they're like an inverted torque bit, but you can also just use a 6-point socket, it's going to work just fine. If you want to buy the E-bit, you're more than welcome to. I'll have the links down in the description to both the valve cover and the bit and everything else you might need for this. So I'm using an 8mm 6-point socket. Like I said, it works just fine. These don't have a lot of torque on them or anything like that. So now that you got all the bolts loose, you can go to pull the dipstick, remove the oil fill cap, and now with everything loose, you can wiggle it around, see if it'll come loose. It's not going to come loose probably right away. You're going to have to probably stick a screwdriver or something underneath of it to actually pry it up a little bit. I'm going to stick a screwdriver right here. You can hear it cracking a little bit, which is good. That means it's probably coming loose. Okay, once you got it broke loose, you should be able to grab it and kind of pull the rest of it up here. And the gasket might be sticking a little bit. That's what mine's doing right now. But you can see here, gasket coming off, hopefully all as one piece. I'll throw that right up in there. All right, now we can inspect all this, see how it looks. A little bit of grime and crap all over the place in here. You can clean that out real quick, but we're looking at the top of the actual camshafts and timing chain area. This is all looking really, really good, nice and gold, no bad wear marks or anything like that. So very happy with how this looks. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up and then we'll prep the other one. All right, now that this is all clean, you have the spot right here where the timing chain cover meets the cylinder head. You're going to want to put a little bit of gasket maker there. So I'm just going to use some high temp gray silicone gasket maker. Stuff worked just fine. Just going to put a little bit right here. And that's just because there's an uneven edge here and you want to make sure it's going to seal. So I'm just going to put it here while we're prepping the valve cover. And then one right here. There we go. That'll give us a nice clean sealing surface. So here's our replacement Dorman valve cover gasket. So this is part number 264968. This is the upgraded version. It has the better diaphragm in there, the one that hopefully won't rip and cause the air leakage. But it's the exact replacement. I'll have the links down in the description of where I bought it on Amazon. And if you could check that out, I also will have the links to brake cleaner, the tools that we use during this, anything you might need. So let's go ahead and throw this baby on there and let's tighten it down. So it looks like that all went down successfully. That's awesome. And then now we can go ahead and start tightening down all the bolts. One thing I did make sure is I kind of felt my hand all the way around, made sure that the valve cover gasket that's underneath that comes with this piece is nice and secure on there, and it seemed like it is. So we're going to go ahead and tighten this down. So I'm just going to tighten it down with the gun, not torquing it, just kind of just getting the bolts down. All right, so all the bolts are just snugged down. I'm going to go back through now and torque them. Okay, these need to be torqued down to a 71 inch-pounds. So we got our torque ratchet. There we go. All the bolts are now torqued down to the correct spec. I went ahead and just did that off camera real fast. Now we can start popping in all the hoses again. Now we can throw back in the dipstick here. Don't forget to grab your oil filler neck. Now put on your oil cap. Now let's go ahead and throw on the coil pack. Throw on your electrical connector. And there we go. Now your valve cover is all changed out. Now let's go ahead and go start the car and make sure we have no noise coming through here. Alright, so let's go ahead and put our stormwater top on that, and there we go. Nothing is coming through that. That is awesome. That should take care of our issue. We can go ahead and put our valve cover back on here. And we are all set. So this is a job well done. If this video has helped you out at all, make sure to click like and also subscribe to my channel. Also check out the links down below. They're all Amazon links, so that way you can get your product right there. And yeah, if you need anything else, let me know. This is Chad Williams Fix It All. Thanks for watching.